Current mode, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Spirit of Beverly Bolden YouTube channel, Tarot Card Reading. Tonight, I want to just get into the spirit of Leo season with my new addition, my new deck that I'm adding to the Body Tarot and the Starseed and the Herbal Astrology deck that I have. And this one is Inner Fucking Peace. And I say that I'm in the spirit of Leo season with this deck is because one of the ways that I feel like Leos keep their inner peace is by speaking their mind, their inner fucking peace, by literally speaking their mind. I once asked a cousin of mine, after she says some of the things that she says, what is she thinking? And it took a minute, but finally she said, I guess I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have said that. But nonetheless, part of their freedom comes from speaking their minds. And I think that we as light workers try to be so much light that we don't interject darkness when it's necessary, and to create boundaries and create the understanding that just because we are light workers, that doesn't mean that people can just take our kindness and our intent on doing good or being a benefit to society and the world, to take it for granted. And so this reading is dedicated to ways that light workers and peace workers and star seeds can find inner fucking peace. Tonight I am playing 396 hertz sound frequency because for some of us it is something that brings about anxiety when we feel that we may hurt others by establishing our wants and desires. So I got this charcoal burning and I'm going to drop some dragon's blood on here. Right? Let's get that going. And just let that move around and let that fire energy clear out any type of energies that would object to us speaking our mind when it's necessary. You know, there is day and there is night. So we mustn't be afraid of stepping into our dark side or using our shadow self when the time comes to do just that. I'm also going to drop some of, this is from my company, Beverly's Beauty Blessings. This is pure white sage oil, but I actually dropped some lemongrass in here and some peppermint also. And that's just a real pleasant smell and a way to just clear the energy and set the tone. I'm just going to wave this around, right, and set this right here. And so this is the Inner Fucking Peace deck, my new deck. And let's see what it says. One more time. Let's see what we have. We got two. So I'm going to read one in the beginning and I'll do one at the end. It says, advocate pure mantra. Activate pulled mantra. Purr. I thought it was purr. Activate purr mantra. The power of meow. That's interesting. Purr. Now, I was listening to a YouTube video and it talked about how cats purr to calm themselves. It's not just when you are you rubbing them and it feels good, but they also purr to relax themselves or calm themselves. So it's telling you to activate calm when having to speak your mind. And so let's see what the body tarot is talking about. Looks like this is it. Haha. The stomach, which is the second brain. Justice and fairness. So right off the back, I'm going to say it is fair and it is just of you to speak your mind when necessary. Let's see what the Star Seed Oracle has to say. That one came up, but it went back down. I want a nice clean. Let's see. So we have birth and creations, tapestry of life, expression. So what I want to say off the bat on this one, birth and creations, tapestry of life, expression. What I read from this is that if you are not free to express yourself when the time comes to stand up for yourself and create inner fucking peace, it's going to cause a blockage in the birthing of creations. It's going to cause a blockage in the tapestry of your life. It's going to cause a blockage because you're not expressing. It's almost like if you don't get the pollutants out of the equation, your temple being the equation, then what manifests or what is created is not authentic. It's not pure. Let's see what the herbal astrology has to say. Taking a long time. Okay. What we have? Mugwort. Psychic healing. The owl. And speaking your mind and clearing out the toxicity. By that I mean things that need to be spoken about that are harming you, that are types of unfair treatment that you may get as a light worker or someone who has the purest intent in clearing out and saying, hey, you cannot treat me this way, or you cannot take me for granted this way, or you cannot dump your toxicity on me because you think that I'm just this holier than thou or this good person who is going to turn the other cheek. By being able to express these things, by relaxing yourself instead of being anxious about standing up for yourself or speaking your mind, your psychic healing will be encouraged. It will grow. It will get stronger. Your light work and your purpose and your starseed assignments and activations will be all the more better for it. So now, that was my off-the-cuff read. Let's see what the book says. So, the stomach is the traditional tarot card of justice, and the key words are fairness, judgment, consequences, and legality. The stomach is the powerhouse of the body. It is now thought that we have a secondary brain of sorts in our gut that is responsible for all the processes that happen there. Have you ever eaten something and immediately known you were going to be sick? So how I feel about that is, has anyone ever said something or done something to you, and when it hit you, it didn't feel good? Have you ever eaten something and immediately known you were going to be sick? That's the stomach telling you swiftly what is good for you, because you may have sniffed what you ate and thought it was fine, but the stomach has better judgment than you and has rejected what you ingested. Somebody may have said something to you and you thought you just brushed it off, or treated you inappropriately or abused you, and you just tried to just let it slide by, just smile about it, but really it affected you in a way that made you sick. In the same way, this card is about sound judgment and swift action, swift decisive action. Society decides together in democratic nations what their laws should be. We then follow those or not, depending on our personal morality. This card indicates the consequences of our actions, whether that is a broken contract or a criminal act. This can be a very positive card to draw if you have been the victim of a crime, as it can indicate that justice will result, but this interpretation does depend on where in the spread the card lands. In any case, at least you know that all the arguments will be weighed and the judgment will be a considered one. This last part, I feel like, with regards to the readings, that we have to be the judge of the circumstances that are affecting us. Nobody is going to be better at defending or protecting you than you yourself. Someone treating you in a way that is abusive or inappropriate or not in alignment with the things that you yourself have decided are beneficial to you or not is a broken contract and a spiritual criminal act. If you allow someone to cross boundaries with you and you know that it's affecting you in an adverse way and you say nothing, you are breaking a contract with yourself. And that can also lessen the trust that you have for yourself on a subconscious level. And in doing so, this diminishes your psychic healing. And that's something that light workers and starseeds and people of peace needs, is to have their psychic abilities as strong as possible. There is justice and there is fairness in setting boundaries for yourself. Okay. I made a mistake. I put that card back that was pulled, but I'm going to take it as a sign that another card needed to be pulled. I know that it spoke about tapestry and expression, and I said that not speaking your mind would block that, but this is a spiritual reading, and so I don't think it was just a coincidence. And let's see what other card I pulled. Mysterious ways. Water your garden. Nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. Watering your garden is another way of activating prayer mantra, the power of meow. You ever watch a cat give itself a bath? And you can tell that they are intent on doing for themselves or giving themselves the best of care, especially when they stretch out that one leg to clean themselves. And you can see at that moment that it's all about them. So my interpretation of that is that the reading has changed to a less protective against external forces and turn inwardly into creating your inner fucking peace by watering your own garden, setting the boundaries of nourishment and body care, tenderness and rest. You know, if you are a light worker or a starseed or a peace worker, not having nourished yourself, not having given your own temple body care, not having given yourself the same tenderness that you expect from others, not having given yourself rest, is violating a contract too. God, Spirit, the Creator helps those who help themselves. And it is well within our ability to no longer sacrifice those things that we need in order to flourish, in order to empower our psychic healing. And let's see what the herbal astrology deck says about the mugwort. Upright, dream work, the liminal space, in transition, other realities, clairvoyance, farsight. So I want to say that this actually piggybacks off the water your own garden, which is going to increase lucid dreaming. It's going to assist you as you're in transition, as we have moved from 3D to 5D. Other realities give you other perspectives, other angles of viewing this new you, this new world. Clairvoyance, increase your clairvoyance and also increase your foresight. And all of these are some of the aspects of physical healing. All Artemisia family plants are sacred to Artemis, the moon goddess. and mugwort is closely linked to the fairy realms. Historically, it has been used to protect against evil spirits, parasitic entities, dark energy, and hexes among a variety of cultures. So here we have the external forces that definitely are intent on crossing boundaries. Mugwort and its extended family are moon allies that symbolize the mystical workings of our intuition, dreams, and unconscious mind. The silvery light of the moon illuminates the path to higher consciousness, winding through La Selva Subterranea, the underground forest. The moon represents our emotional body, the shadow self, the underworld, psychic abilities, and the occult. So from this part, I get that increasing our psychic healing will allow us to get into our shadow self, our psychic abilities, and the occult, those dark aspects of ourselves that will allow us to navigate setting up boundaries with the evil spirits, the parasitic entities, the dark energies, and the black magic, if you will, for some of us that's being sent our way. And to have activated the purr mantra, or the relaxing state, the power of the meow, the cat, to be less anxious when doing what will bring justice and what is fairness to our experience. Its dark side can bring on illusions, fear, and feelings of separation and disconnection. This, I feel, is true when we don't recognize that the dark side of us is also our friend. Mugwort grants us the strength to work with our shadow and protects us from the parasitic entities that we might encounter as we dive deep into our psyche. That's what I just said. Mugwort is a resilient plant that grows in conditions where other herbs may be unhappy. So for this, I translate it to mean that some people are going to be unhappy when you set boundaries with them. But if they cross them and you don't set the boundary, you're going to be unhappy with yourself. And sometimes in order to bring peace, as it was alleged that Jesus said in the Bible, I did not come to bring peace, but I come to bring a sword. What I found in my life, that there have been times where when I was remaining light and peaceful and turning the other cheek and humbling myself, I was getting taken advantage of. But excuse me, when I went bum pluck wild and just started acting like a maniac to stand my ground, that's when the people start acting right. Unfortunately, with some people, you have to act a fool and let them know in order for them to treat you with respect. This bitter herb was traditionally used as a tonic for stomach and intestinal conditions, including as a parasitic cleanser, an aid to weak digestion, and more. Parasites are not just in your stool. The energy is the energy. There are people who are actual parasites. They feed off your energy. That's the energetic frequency that they exist upon. I understand that they are empty inside and they don't feel like they, can have or have access to whatever tools is necessary to build up their own spiritual selves. But it's no compassion for that situation anymore, because a parasite is a parasite. It could care less about taking your last breath of air if it can extend their existence. The moon is said to directly govern the stomach, the gut in its entirety, and the regulation of fluid in the body. So it is no coincidence that Artemisia, the moon goddess Earth, greatly eases chronic stomach and intestinal complaints. By setting boundaries for yourself and for others, it's going to ease chronic pain. You ever heard of intestinal fortitude? That means you got guts. But if you don't have the guts to stand up for yourself, you're going to have spiritual intestinal complaints. And the stomach is the second brain, so you're going to have headaches too. And you're not going to be able to increase your psychic healing, right? You're not going to have justice or fairness in your life. And it'll be that much more difficult to find pleasure and joy when you water your own garden. If you don't trust yourself, if you're not standing up for yourself, if you don't feel good about yourself, when it's time to take care of you, it's not going to feel the same because you have broken a spiritual contract with yourself. And that one is, to thine own self be true. The guidance with this card is, Artemis, the moon goddess, and her wise white owl meet you as you enter the liminal space between one life phase and the next. It's a new day, light workers. It's a new day, starseeds and peacemakers. We're entering one phase of this thing into a new territory. Your channel is wide open. She is instructing you on how to draw upon your psychic powers to pass through this test within the realms of the shadow. You can pass through to the next realm by dealing with the darkness, going in the darkness, and seeing which aspects of it can be used to help you, in addition to which aspects of it no longer serve you. But there are tools in it, there are swords in there that are necessary to strike down those things about yourself that are no longer needed, that are crossing boundaries with your assignment, and also with external forces that need to be cut down outside of you. You are not lost. Oftentimes, the greatest clarity dawns after the darkest hours. Our medicine asks you to use the powers of keen psychic sight to observe and intuit, meaning use your intuition with regards to aspects of your life that may still lay in the darkness. Go into that darkness and see what areas are laying there dormant, and that could be used or once again needed to be thrown away. Confront that which is unworthy of your devotion. Confront those subconscious things within your spirit that are unworthy, like being too scared and too afraid to stand up for yourself, to bring justice and fairness for yourself. Eradicate destructive forces within and without. Pay attention to the signs and omens that appear as you navigate the labyrinth of the subterranean forest, the underworld. In other words, as you move forward with your journey, there are going to be signs and omens that appear that show you that you're going the right way, or that show you that you are being assisted by your spirit guides and your ancestors, and that you are not alone. Let's see what this second card was of the inner fucking peace deck. It says meditate. It's better than sitting around doing nothing. I love it. Meditation is excellent for the mind. As a matter of fact, I think I mentioned before in one of my readings, I was outside one day and I was having I was irritable, and I was having some altercations that I didn't feel like were in alignment, and I couldn't figure out what happened. And I just retraced my steps, and I realized that I hadn't done my meditations when I woke up in the morning. It really, really, really does make a difference, because you have to recognize that we are being inundated with the internet. Sometimes we're scrolling, and sometimes some of the things that we look at that are not in alignment with who we really are, but they are attractive to us because of this, just so sensationalized. And those things enter your gate, into your mind, into your psyche, your aura. And sometimes they leave spiritual toxicity or spiritual rubbish, if you will. And so the reading is about, setting boundaries for yourself and for others, that it is fair to do so, that it is in alignment to do so, that it is only right that you do so. And I want to thank you for being here for the Spirit of Beverly Bowden Tarot Card Reading 1.